My name is Jacob Jorgensen, and I'm here to talk to you today about the cost of high school sports. First off, I want to apologize if I start to lose my voice. I have a little bit of a sore throat this morning. My first question I have for all of you is, how many of you have been in high school sports or know somebody that has been? I myself was in 3 separate high school sports. I was in swimming, cross country, and track. My big pet peeve about the school is overall paying for all 3 of those sports. I had to pay every year alone, each time I competed in the sport, up to $300 or more just to compete in the sport. And that doesn't include all of the workout clothes I had to buy for it, the swimsuits I had to buy for swimming, shoes I had to buy for running. And when all is said and done, that totals up to a lot of money. It can be anywhere from, if you buy really cheap clothes and stuff, to $400 up to $500 even. And the question I have for you today is, do you think students should have to pay this amount of money? And I personally think the amount is way too much, especially considering cases that I will talk about in my speech. In many cases, students themselves can't pay for this cost. So that there gives rise to the problem of, if they want to do the sport, how are they going to be able to do it? In many cases, you have to rely on your parents to pay, which, let's say you come from a family that is struggling to make ends meet right now, they might have to look at their child and say, you know, I'm really sorry, but you can't do it. You know, like, you can't compete in the sport. And many students are too young, like especially their freshman year, to even work. So like, let's say if they want to raise the money themselves, they can't because they're not old enough to even go into a job to pay for this, all the costs. And the other thing is, let's say they are old enough to work, they have to try and balance their schoolwork, the sport itself with the training, and then going to work as well. So they have a hard time trying to balance all 3 of these on the same plate. So I personally think we need to come up with a way for scholarships and whatnot for students that can't pay for these. Examples of this could be that schools could fundraise for the kids. I've seen a lot of cases, you know, like especially with my cross-country team, where the coach will go out and do fundraisers for children, you know, so that the kids that can't pay for the sweats and stuff, you know, get like discounted sweats or something like that, such as these. And the other example that I can think of is schools could go out to businesses and, you know, like talk to them and be like, you know, we have a lot of kids that can't pay for all these clothes and shoes and such like this, and we were wondering if, like, you know, you could give them any sort of kind of discount. Some cases already do this, such as my cross-country coach. She would tell us, if you go out to Timeout Sports, you know, I've gone down and talked to them, they'll give you a discount on shoes where, you know, like my shoes that I used to buy for cross-country, you know, like if I wouldn't go for the discount down there, they'd be up to $120, whereas after, you know, they drop down to like $90, which it seems like, you know, that's still a lot of money, but it's $30 you're saving as well. I think that the schools could also set up a program that allows students that are getting good grades and are balancing out their schoolwork and stuff well, and give those students even any sort of discount, you know, like a good grade discount, you know, like, look, they're doing really good in school, you know, like, let's give them an opportunity to show, you know, that they can be good student athletes as well, and even better themselves even more. Next I will talk to you about the comparison of large schools such as, and not even very large schools, but larger schools such as Billings compared to little schools or Billings. In many cases, a lot of the students that I talked to that went to small schools didn't even need to pay to compete in the sport. They just showed up the first day and they were good to go. You know, as long as you had your clothes and stuff, then you can compete. They didn't have to do any fundraisers or anything. Whereas everybody that I talked to that even went to Billings here, they had to pay, you know, the initial startup fee of like $50 just to compete in the sport. They'd go out and fundraise to get money so that they could go out of, like if you had to ride the bus to out-of-town trips, you had money for that. If they had to spend the night, then they had to pay for the hotel. And all in all, you started basically having to waste your money and time, I shouldn't say waste, but you had to put money and time into it just so you could compete in the sport. And I think that Billings needs to come up with a program, you know, that helps to lessen that cost, because especially when small schools are free to compete in sports. So in conclusion today, I believe that students are paying way too much just so that they can compete in a sport. And, you know, like maybe they just want to have fun in it, you know, maybe they don't want to go be at a collegiate level. I don't think that they're willing to pay $200 just to get in so that they can compete for fun. They'd rather just honestly go home after school instead of paying $200 to do something for fun. So I think that there should be more opportunities for these children. But the question I have for you today is, what do you think? And does anybody have any questions?
Wait, you guys had to pay for your bus rides?
We didn't have to pay for the bus rides, but what we ended up having to do is we had to fundraise, and like, let's say we didn't fundraise enough money, and if we had like, a lot of times, my freshman year, we had 2 busfuls. So we had 2 busfuls of kids that got to go. But my sophomore year, we didn't end up raising enough fundraiser money, so we only got to take 1 bus. So therefore, some kids didn't get to go.
I thought it was you were creative with that great incentive idea that hardworking students could maybe, you know, either not pay or not have to pay quite as much to compete. And I was curious if you, so far you've thought of a way that students who aren't as intelligent could get lower grades but still work hard to earn it.
And yes, you know, like I would agree with that. Like another program that I kind of thought about, but I didn't talk in my speech, could be like something along the lines of, you know, if their student is going in after school and trying to get their stuff done, you know, or like is seeing a tutor or something, and like they're showing signs of improvement at least, you know, like giving them like almost kind of like a reduced amount, you know, like with schools, you know, you get the free or reduced lunches, like
Right.
kind of like a program like that.